Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Good night.
Everyone, thanks for joining. Ryan, just go ahead and give me a, just give me a thumbs up when you're good. Good. All right, we'll start with questions for Coach. Doug?
Yeah, Coach, congrats on the win. Do you have any injury updates on Robinson and Wiley? And do you have any growing concern about the turf or the training staff and the number of injuries that the players have sustained, not just this season, but past season too?
So no on both questions, no updates. Miles Robinson doesn't look good, but again, we have to wait for the test and the MRIs and just to see if we can confirm something on that end. Caleb Wiley, he twisted the ankle when they went in a tackle on him. I didn't see the replay, but he says they kick him in that play and he rolled the ankle. I hate to do double sub on the same player, like he comes in and then come out. So I apologize to Caleb, but it was painful to see him just limping on the field, and I think it can cost the team. So I normally don't do that, but it was for a reason. And then on the turf, no, I'm not an expert. I don't know if the turf can cause injuries or not. I'm not the expert. Maybe you have to ask some experts on that regard.
And the sports science training staff, no concerns about anything that they're doing or not doing?
No, we have a very good sports science. We measure everything. We reflect on everything we do. I think they do a very, very good job. Their standard is very high. And obviously we will check again, but I don't think there's anything particularly different to what we're doing compared to last year or even in years before. It's been very similar. So obviously we're going to check for anything, but I don't think it's the case.
And you said an MRI on Robinson. Is that for his Achilles tendon or his knee?
Yes.
Or his Achilles tendon?
Yes.
Okay. The offense, it looked purposeful. It looked quick tonight. A lot of passing and moving, a lot of attacking spaces. Is that what you've been trying to get them to execute the past few weeks? And tonight it just all kind of came together?
Probably I'm going to ask you back, do you think it was so different from the last few games? Do you think? Yeah?
I think that there was a lot less dribbling, a lot more passing and moving, a lot of running into space behind the lines.
Yeah, I think the game manifested like that, but I don't think there was a lot of dribbling in the last few games. I think it was more the lack of clinical, precision in the finishing, because I think there have been games like Cincinnati, we create way more chances on goal, similar this one to other games in terms of expected goals, possession, final third entries, through balls, crosses, chances, shots. Like the stats says it was a very similar games to the last few. It's just today we had the fortune to score the goals and to be clinical, but I don't think there was anything particularly different to what we try every weekend.
Joe, then John, go ahead.
Gonzalo, how pleased were you with the way that the team responded after Miles' injury? Because obviously he's been such a big part of this team for so long, and they didn't seem to really miss a beat at all. They just kept going.
Yes, I think I'm proud of that response. We talk about that at halftime. Obviously, everybody went to see Miles at halftime, and they were sad for him, obviously. So what we said on the locker room was the best way to honor him and honor all the players that went down so far this season with long-term injuries is to play up to our standard. That's the best way to honor them, and I think they did. They came back. They solidified the result, and I think they did a pretty good job on that.
John, go ahead.
Coach, just wanted to ask about what you thought about your midfield pairing of Hasetsu and Ibarra. I think they only had 7 incomplete passes the entire game on 205 attempts. What do you think about that pairing today?
Yeah, I think I have very good midfielders. I think in general I have a very solid group of midfielders. Today the pair that work the same as last weekend against Montreal did a very good job. They solidified the middle first defensively. I think they did a good job the other day against Mihailovic, today against Shaqiri. And also they start the possession for us. They are the ones that were dropping at times as a backline of 3, Rossetto, Ibarra, or sometimes just receiving the ball in behind the Shaqiri and the number 904, and they start to break the lines. I think that balance of offense, defense that they can provide to the team is pivotal for any team that wants to be good in possession. And they did a very good job, but at the same time, when Santi came, he did the same. Emerson, I think he did also a very good job, probably higher on the field. And we know that when Amar has played, he does very similar performances. So Tyler Wolf can play in that position as well. So I think I'm blessed with a lot of good midfielders. So any pair that we put, we feel that they can do a very good job. But obviously, this pair of Ibarra Rossetto provide that solid midfield at the moment.
Eric?
Have you, in your career, have you experienced an injury situation like you're experiencing here right now? And have you specifically talked with the training staff about the injury situation and what might be going on, or what could be done differently, or if that's even a consideration, or is this just bad luck?
Yeah, well, I've never seen something this bad, I would say, in terms of injuries. I have had some years, whether I was a player or as a coach, in Seattle, where we had a couple long-term injuries as well, but nothing like this, especially not in the first 10 games of the season. Obviously, we have checked everything. Since Brad's injury, since Ossie's injury, we check for everything, even Dylan's Achilles. So we've been checking for everything. We haven't found anything different, so we always check and compare day by day. That's our routine, but also they went for a little bit longer time and they check for everything, and there's nothing there. So, I mean, at times you're just bad luck, and we have just to, try to find a solution, but at the same time, I think it's a bit of bad luck just.
Here in the front, green. Oh, whichever one. Just state your name, please.
Henry Fernando, University of Georgia. Despite losing your team captain today due to injury, Robinson, who do you think helped lead in his stead, or was it a collaborative team effort?
I think, well, after Mike's injuries, we didn't think about the second captain, and we have to rethink about that as well. But I think the whole culture of the team is such as next man up. And I love that about my team, that they understood how to suffer at times in the games, and they came all together and they all defend. You saw the effort that Luis does, that Thiago does, that Marcelino does defensively. And then even Ronaldo today, he had the reward of the 3 goals, the hat-trick, but it's because he's always running behind, chasing, pressing, and that is always the reward for the team. When a team as talented as it is works very hard, I think the reward has to come. So I think the togetherness was present on today's game.
Yeah, thank you.
Doug, and then on the green. Doug, go first.
Just going to ask you about Cisneros, who you just talked about. What made him so effective tonight?
I think I just said it, like his willingness to run in behind, his timing. I think I said this the other day to some of my coaching staff, assistants. Besides the goal he scored in Miami, he didn't have any clear chance. He had a few half chances here and there, but nothing as clear as today. And I think today he was just clinical. It's the first time he has clear chances, and he scored. So I think what happened is today we were able to find him a little bit better in better situations, in better areas, like the through balls, the balls in behind, and his willingness to always being running behind, chasing behind. I think that helps him just to be in those situations, and today he showed that he can certainly score many goals.
Is it also a result of being able to start the same lineup again? Could you talk about that on Thursday, about the cohesion and things like that?
Yeah, I've been talking about that since the beginning of the season, even in preseason. And yes, I don't think it's also magical that every time you repeat the lineup you're going to win, but at least I think you're going to have more consistency. Sadly, whatever happens for the next game, we won't have that. So again, we cannot put that as an excuse. We need to continue with the ethos of the team of next man up, and I think actually Alex de Jong had a very good game, and I think he was ready for the task. That's what I want. That's why it's very important that all of the players, whether they play or not, he didn't play any minutes before this game in the league, and he was ready for the task. That's kudos to him because he was preparing himself very good in the training sessions. He's always vocal, he's always trying to help, and he's always working hard. So I think that cohesion will come again. But yeah, it was a factor, but I don't think it was the main factor. We have other factors that helped today to this victory.
Last one in English here in front. Say your name, please.
Molly Lee from the University of Georgia. So looking to y'all's game against Nashville, what did you see today that you really liked and plan to build on for that next game?
Well, I think the movement of the ball was very good. I think today we moved the ball, especially in the first half. We were able to put Thiago and Marcelino in those half spaces, even Luis, and then we were able to run in behind very good, very effectively. I think that against Nashville, they play a 5-3-2, very clear, with a Mokhtar that at times drops as a midfielder, at times goes as a 9. I think those topics, those principles of play are going to help us to try to disrupt their pressure. They're a team that likes to be in the middle block, very solid block of 5-3-2, and our ability to move the ball faster and try to break lines very fast is going to help us for the next game.
Before we switch to Spanish, locker room is open if you wish to go there for players. And now here we'll switch to Spanish. Danilo, you want to start us off? Then Henry, what do you?
Profe,
Sí.
2 en 1. Lo de Marcelino fue más disposición técnica, quería cuidar el resultado, lo notó cansado. Y lo otro, ¿la Open Cup va a enfrentar con la nómina titular?
Bueno, lo de Marcelino fue un poco, sí, el manejo de, más que nada, de los minutos. Sentí que necesitábamos refrescar un poco esa parte de la cancha y sentí que ahí con Caleb Wiley y Thiago podríamos solidificar eso y darle algunos minutos también a Emerson, que es un jugador muy importante que tenemos, un jugadorazo, y quiero comenzar a que vuelva a agarrar minutos, a que vuelva a agarrar el ritmo de partido. Y hoy vieron, casi es el que pone la asistencia en el último gol, hace un centro espectacular. Y entonces quiero echar mano de todo lo que tengo. Con respecto a lo de si voy a hacer el cuadro titular o no, ya lo veremos. Quiero ver cómo terminan todos, quiero ver cómo regresan. Quién sabe, por ejemplo, Caleb Wiley salió con una pequeña lesión de tobillo. Quiero ver cómo está, quiero ver cómo están todos, y una vez que sepa con quién cuento, armaremos el mejor equipo para enfrentar a un Nashville que es un rival muy duro, más en su casa, con estadio nuevo. Van a querer ganar esta final, pero de la misma manera para nosotros es un reto muy grande y lo trataremos de hacer de la mejor manera. No es algo que seguramente verán muchos cambios. Trataré de mantener una alineación bastante fuerte para enfrentar este partido.
New anesthesia, keep your mask on, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Coach,
Felicidades por la victoria. La hat-trick de Ronaldo Cisneros, él vino a préstamo de Chivas Real de Guadalajara. Con la actuación de hoy, con lo mostrado en los partidos anteriores, ¿cree que se puede ganar una extensión y quedarse en el equipo un tiempo más largo?
Bueno, ya veremos. La verdad es que ahorita por el momento el presente es que lo tenemos a préstamo. Se ha mostrado muy bien. Creo que más allá de lo que ha demostrado en la cancha, que siempre es muy, muy importante, quizás es lo más importante, a mí me importa mucho cómo se ha relacionado con sus compañeros. Me parece que es un muchacho muy humilde, callado, trabajador, que se ha ganado el cariño y el respeto de sus compañeros en muy poco tiempo, y eso no es fácil de hacer. Obviamente jugadores como él en esa posición es difícil que sean de esa manera. Casi la mayoría de los 9 son de una manera diferente y él lo está haciendo de muy buena manera. Y después, bueno, ya veremos. Esa cuestión, esas preguntas son quizás más para la directiva que para mí, pero por supuesto que estamos muy contentos con lo que Ronaldo está haciendo.
Juan Carlos? Samantha, you go ahead.
Profe,
Sí.
obviamente vimos que destacó y brilló el ataque, la media cancha y los delanteros, pero para mí también destacó mucho la línea de defensa, al principio con Miles y después con Alex y Johnny, Alan Franco. ¿Cómo viste el rendimiento de Franco en particular?
Sí, creo que fue muy bueno. Justamente les decía en el vestidor que era importante para nosotros anotar muchos goles porque creíamos que estábamos jugando de tal manera que faltaba una victoria así, pero también que me gusta mucho el mantener el 0 en la portería. Hoy no lo logramos por un pequeño detallito ahí en una segunda pelota que abren y un centro que no defendemos del todo bien, pero en términos generales me gustó que en los momentos en que nos tocó sufrir en el partido, que de repente nos apretaron, la defensiva respondió bien y defendieron como vida o muerte, que es lo que siempre les pido dentro del área, y lo hicieron muy bien. En particular Alan, creo que tuvo por ahí un pequeño error donde le da el balón a Ofor, pero todo lo demás lo mantuvo muy limpio atrás. Pero también quiero aclarar que para nosotros defensa significa tener la pelota. O sea, para nosotros defensa no solo es las acciones defensivas y ganar las pelotas adentro del área, sino es que sean limpios con la pelota, que nos ayuden en la posesión. Eso también ayuda en defensa, porque el rival no tiene el balón por tanto tiempo. Y Alan Franco, Miles, Alex de Jong, Andrew Goodman, Brooks Lennon, Ronald Hernández lo hicieron de muy buena manera, tanto en defensa como en ataque, y eso nos tuvo contentos.
Juan Carlos. Profe, felicidades por la victoria. Juan Carlos Rando para Conexión Deportiva. La situación de Joseph Martínez está en proceso de recuperación. ¿Cuánto tiempo aproximadamente se espera que pueda estar jugando de nuevo? ¿Y cómo queda el papel de Joseph con esta aparición espectacular de un Ronaldo Cisneros que ha dejado muchas cosas buenas que decir?
Bueno, primero que sigue su rehabilitación, creo que la está haciendo muy bien, está poniendo mucha dedicación en su rehabilitación, está haciendo dobles sesiones, le están metiendo fuerte en el gimnasio para recuperar la masa muscular sobre todo, y creo que está haciendo una muy buena rehabilitación. Esperamos que en algunas semanas, hay que ir viendo la evolución, pero por lo menos 3-4 semanas más estará de vuelta. ¿Y cómo lo deja? Pues en la misma situación que está, como el DP, como el jugador histórico que es en el Atlanta United, pero que también hasta para ellos a veces hay competencia, y Ronaldo lo está haciendo muy bien, pero Joseph Martínez es una leyenda en el club y hay que respetar eso, hay que respetar a las leyendas también. Joseph para mí es un extraordinario delantero, fantástico. Y simplemente que ahora con esta aparición de Ronaldo, pues por supuesto, primero que nada ayuda al equipo tener a alguien que pueda meter los goles cuando no esté Joseph, pero después también generará competencia y generará también opciones, porque de repente casi siempre jugamos con un 9, pero hay ciertos escenarios, ciertos partidos que por qué no jugar con 2 9s, y eso puede poner más presión a las defensas y poner más peligro adentro del área. Es otra posibilidad que nos da. Entonces, de ninguna manera cambia la posición o la jerarquía o el liderazgo que tiene Joseph dentro del equipo.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
We'll bring you guys a player out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.